whether it be a domestic terrorist or foreign, or whatever the case is. It says, it says the enemy's list has been created and will be acted upon at a future date. In stage 1, the government elevates itself above any pretense of constitutional liberties. America has been firmly under stage 1 martial law governance since the events of 9/11.
Yeah, I look up the word National Guard, and then I went to where it says constitutional basis. The reason why constitutionally they can have a national guard. In other words, a National Guard is backed by the Constitution. But this is what it says. It says to execute the laws of the Union. All right? They didn't really need them in Missouri because there was no laws had to be executed because all the people were doing were protesting, which they have a constitutional right to do. Okay? It says, so listen to this. Suppress insurrections. There was no insurrection. And repel invasions. There was no invasion, and that's Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15. So you know, they really had no need for the National Guard. The National Guard is brought in as when all hell breaks loose, and all hell didn't break loose.
To show them that we can bring peace.
Read the scripture real quick, then I want to go back to that article because there's a lot of meat in that article. Psalm 64:1. Hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. And that's what's coming. See, you people don't understand. We're telling you these things because the Spirit has guided us to learn about these things.
We're only telling the elect, okay? Because you other people ain't going to get in any goddamn way.
That's right. You know, but it's our job to tell you, like the Lord told Ezekiel, whether you hear, whether you'll forbear. Because once you hear it, you're responsible for it. That's why Yahweh Shai said, now have they no cloak for their sins. If I had not told them, they would have had the cloak for their sins. In so many words, just roughly paraphrasing. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And that's a secret counsel. Because these things they've been doing behind the scenes for hundreds of years, you know, and then the things that you see now, they're just now starting to implement and starting to put it all together, you know, put those pieces together because it's time for them to sit back and have everyone as slaves. But one thing they don't count on is the Most High coming and destroying them, you know, and taking them out of distorting their plans. You know, like when you go back to the Tower of Babel, you know, the people was of one mind and one consent, and their mind was to build that tower, and there was nothing that could stop them. So the Lord confounded the languages there to have them stop building that building. So it's the same thing with the so-called white man here, the international bankers. You know, they're doing this thing for a goal of the so-called New World Order. But the Most High is going to throw a monkey wrench in it where you're not going to be able to implement that New World Order fully. It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And that's, like the apostle read earlier about the tumult. That's the words and the conspiracies and things that they speak behind closed doors, their plans. Those are the bitter words. Those are the arrows. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who the hell you think that's speaking about? That's speaking about the Israelites, you know, because that's the main goal is for them to eliminate you. You know, that's why they have all these genocide plans for you. That's why they're trying to bring, you know, Ebola and them different diseases to wipe you out. That's what they have. That's why they created AIDS and different other diseases to try to wipe you off the planet. But that's not going to happen. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. What do you think a snare is? A snare is a trap. Privately means in secret. It says they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search and trust and believe that these devils, the wickedness that they're doing, they've sat down and meditated on it and thought about it and rehashed it, tried it, went to certain countries and tried it on the citizens there, see how it would work. Tried it on certain citizens here in America. Like when they went down to Panama, there's a thing called the Panama Deception. You know, they just went down and they tried it under the guise of getting Noriega, but they really were testing those new weapons that they had just created. They had to find a way to test them out. So they set that whole thing up just to test those weapons. So they do things like that because they search a diligent search. It says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. Because eventually their plans are going to be foiled by the destruction of America and thermonuclear destruction. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. And that's why you have whistleblowers, you have guys within the organization that come out and tell, you know, of the things that are going on there. Because the Most High is making them do that so that we can hear about it, so that we can see it, so that we can warn the elect and tell whoever is out there that these things are coming. Because the Lord said that He made us a prophet unto the nations. So we have to tell you what your judgment is. You know. Before I read on, I just want to read a little more of this article. Because like I said, it's pretty good. It says, in stage 2, martial law implementation becomes obvious to all citizens except for the ones who invoke cognitive dissonance as a psychological coping mechanism. Stage 2 is marked by restriction on travel, the loss of free speech, and the right to assemble to air grievances against the government. Then it dropped down, it says a national ID. In stage 2, the free internet as we know it will disappear. And that's what they want to do. They want to do away with the internet so that this information can't, so this information, not disinformation, cannot be pushed out there. So they can stop it. But it's too late. The wheel's already turning. Once that wheel started turning back in the late 60s, early 70s, that was it. You know, like Bruce Lee threw that one pebble in that place, and then once the pebble hit, he said it's already started. The work is already going. The word has been already out. You know, it's just now that there's certain things that are happening that we've been speaking about for years. It says, subsequently, the truthful alternative media will disappear as well. Stage 2 is also characterized by the total loss of due process of law with regard to detainment, imprisonment, or worse. That's where you have what? The NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, where if they label you a terrorist or somebody that will help a terrorist or even know somebody that's a terrorist, they can hold you indefinitely. No writ of habeas corpus or nothing can pull you out of prison. You're just going to be up in there. Like they still got people in Guantanamo Bay. Going back to 9/11, they haven't let go. All right. It says the stage is also marked by limiting participation of members of the society who have been previously identified as enemies of the state. It says this would include the ability to hold certain kinds of employment, a special designation on a form of national ID, the imposition of restriction on who can marry, where one can live, etc. And they got a picture of the national ID card there, and it looks like a RFID emblem on it, you know. But eventually they want to they want to chip you. That's the ultimate goal. All right. So going back to the scriptures, it says verse 8, Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And that's why the elect that are seeing these things are fleeing away from them and arming themselves with the truth. So when that time comes, you'll be protected if you're part of the elect. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. You know, so there is a reward, you know, for doing what the Lord said to do. You know, because you got guys that have stopped doing the work, you know, because they didn't see anything happening. But scripture say at the end they shall speak and not lie. You know, so we're at that point now. That's what you're seeing everything that's going on in America. And there's stuff that's going on that they're not even touching. They're not even bringing out on the regular media. Because if they would, it would cause a chaos, you know. So there's certain things that they're keeping under wraps. They're not allowing it to get out. But through the alternative medias, through the internet, you know, through YouTube and different other vehicles, the truth is going out. And things are happening. Things are moving forward.